So this step three is what I call flood the market. And what I mean by this is we want to get the job post up in as many places as possible where there are relevant candidates. So we want to do this because ultimately we're going to be better off with a large pool of candidates than relying on one individual job board or asking friends or whatever, because we've figured out that candidates come from all over, and we've been really surprised by some of the sites or some of the places where we've posted these applications and gotten great people to come through. But you are not you're not in a good position of being able to find these A players if you ultimately only have a short list of, say, ones and twos. You're likely going to be in a pinch looking for someone to fulfill this role. And so you'll probably end up going with somebody who's like a one or a two on this kind of what I call like an aspirational hire. And I've made this mistake plenty of times where you meet somebody and you're like, well, they don't do X, Y, and Z, but they seem like a good person, seem, hungry, and they do match these other characteristics that I'm looking for. Ultimately, more often than not, those don't work out because you're making sacrifices, and they often don't have the skills that are needed to be successful in that role, or they just don't have the real interest in the specific content that you are hiring them to do. And so I have evolved over time to really go after people who are already in a role that is exactly what I'm hiring for. And only in, some cases where I'm going, and working to try and find like a junior person that we want to kind of bring along and coach and maybe, bring in at a lower salary. Would I look for people who kind of have the soft qualities, but don't have those hard technical skills? And so, long story short, having more candidates ultimately will help you in this pursuit. It'll make your life so much easier, and you'll have a challenge in terms of picking the right person, but you'll be so much happier down the road when you realize you're not settling